takeoff.
Good morning, Brian of London here, about to go live from the beach. Let's see what's going on outside.
Maximum flight altitude reached.
Oh, that's really... How can I be at maximum flight altitude? Nah, there's a problem here.
Maximum flight altitude reached. The home point has been updated. Okay. Please check it on the map.
Alright, that's better. Hey, it's Brian of London here. I'm just watching the Sea Scouts. This is Israeli Sea Scouts getting ready to go out, doing all sorts of sailing and all sorts of other stuff. I think we're gonna, yeah, we got auto. And I've just watched their little flag raising ceremony. This, my kid comes here. This is in Herzliya, and I love the whole thing. It's very much, there's a nationalistic element. They raise the Israeli flag, they sing Hatikva, and it's positive. It's beautiful, I love it. Sea Scouts are also, by the way, mixed gender, which does not give me any qualms at all. This is what's called their shevet. This is the home base. And I think my kid is going out on a sea kayak today. And this morning's been quite fun because for the first time Tommy Robinson has figured out how to get Telegram working, because I've been trying to get him onto Telegram for a while, and so he was actually posting direct from his phone this morning, which is good, and he's realized that it's a censorship resistant version of the kind of apps that he likes, that he's been using up to now. And I'm playing with the lighting here. There we go. And yeah, it's fit for purpose is what I would describe Telegram as. It's fit for our purposes. Now, the internet used to be a lot less sort of decentralized, as in we could all set up a website and that was all you needed, was just your own website. Today, with the whole world of apps, you know, what we found is you can set up tr.news, and for me, you know, brianoflondon.me. But if you want people to get instant notifications and all of the other kind of stuff we've been conditioned to want and to like, and it is useful, like notifications and so on, that's really hard to set up on your own. Not to say that you can't if you're big enough, and you know, I think with Tommy, we have the case that we're going to be big enough to want to set this kind of stuff up. And that will come, but it's expensive and time consuming. And so in the meantime, an app like Telegram, which has proved itself highly resistant to censorship in the past, seems like a very good deal. Hope you're enjoying the pictures. Unfortunately, with live streaming on YouTube, which I'm doing, I don't get any feedback. I don't see your comments. Facebook, when I was able to use Facebook Live, I probably still could, but Facebook Live would show me the comments as they came in. I can't do that, so that's why I'm not responding to anybody. And I got to tell you, it's fun. I like flying while talking. And I did a Periscope yesterday, which I haven't moved to YouTube, but I'll just I guess I'll go over the main details here again whilst we look at the Sea Scouts. Let's see how low I can dare to go. The main point I was making yesterday was that democracy is not a function of a vote every few years. The voting is the last and least important part of democracy. Free speech the ability to question ideas, the ability to come up with different plans, different proposals, to discuss ideologies and to discuss the nature of the society that one's living in, that's the foundation of modern Western civilization and democracy. And without those things, we really do not have a civilization, and it's very, very, very problematic, the idea that we've given up those things. We've given up the idea that we can just freely discuss any ideas we can think of. And that's the position we're in. If you cannot question Islamic orthodoxy, if you can't question the fundamental tenets of Islam, you have missed a huge part of what it is to be a free society. And we've descended into a what's called fear society. Actually, there was a book, fairly famous book that Natan Sharansky, who became a minister in Israel, he had been an assistant to what was the dissident guy in Russia who wrote Gulag Archipelago. He wrote this book about the difference between fear societies and free societies, and he was maintaining that Russia had been a fear society, Soviet Union Russia, ruled by fear, which is true. That's how the Eastern communist blocs ruled, and that the West was free societies. And unfortunately, this book landed on the desk of George Bush just after 9/11, and George Bush thought he could drive over into Afghanistan and Iraq and convert them from fear societies into free societies, using the template of basically how they defeated the Soviet Union from within. The issue with that my huge issue with that is it didn't address the underlying difference in the civilization that they were talking about. So Russia was based loosely on a Christian civilization, a sort of a Western-focused civilization. Lots of differences, and the Soviet Union had obviously tried to clamp down and destroy Christianity, because Marx and the whole communist thing was very much an anti-religious movement. So they created this massive fear society where you couldn't criticize the government, you couldn't criticize accepted orthodoxy, you had to be politically correct. Does this sound like anything we've got at the moment in the West? And they ruled by fear, and if Stalin didn't like what you said, he sent you off to a gulag, and you either died or worked yourself to death. Or if he didn't like a whole region like Ukraine, he starved them. And he starved them because they were ideologically different. They believed in small farmers owning their own land and being productive. And that didn't fit with the communist plan of collectivizing all the farms. So what did Stalin do? He instituted a famine, which was